sees the memes of production, and the like and subscribe button. We have to hasten the claps. The faster, the better. We're headed down that road either way. People will die? Well, yeah, they're going to do it anyway. Dark woke. That's dark woke. I'll die without Medicaid? Well, then, yeah, we got to get the Republicans out as quickly as possible. Yeah, in 4 years by the earliest. I doubt even that. We'll see. That means Dems need to pick their game up. Well, we need to be more hateful to Dems. Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Do I have to explain this every single time? The reason why you want the Band-Aid to come off quickly is because you don't want a, like, slow, competent enactment of these policies that will kill a lot of people and make everyone suffer, but they do it like in such a way that they maintain popularity. You want them to crash the f out and do it so badly, so abruptly, so many people suffer so quickly that they have to roll it back or face the consequences of overwhelming unpopularity. It's, yeah, frog, water boiling, etc. You know, it's either you don't realize you're being boiled, or the sudden jump in temperature makes you leap out faster. It feels like right now we're speed running. Roughly 2/3 of adults in the United States say they or a family member or close friend have relied on Medicaid. God damn, man. I guess, like, if you think about it in a utilitarian sense, it's like, rather than a bunch of slow, methodical, procedural rollbacks that, like, slowly strangle everyone to death, you know? And, like, it never reaches a point where there's a massive blowback to it. Rather, like, wouldn't the preferable thing be they're stupid, so they just, like, basically cut all Medicaid like that, and as a consequence, 100 million Americans wake up one morning and they're like, holy shit, I hate Trump, he wants me dead, and they get really angry about it? These are the massive cuts. They are doing the thing right now. The proposed, what was it, 880 billion out of Medicaid? That's like all of Medicaid. Not all of Medicaid, but it's a lot of Medicaid. I didn't say it was optimistic, Ada Lovelace. It's just, it is what it is. You want them to overreach. I don't think Trump supporters can be changed. No, this is what I mean about, like, the libertarian thing, you know? Again, like, I really do think, and this happened all the time during Trump's first administration, that when Trump supporters were negatively affected by Trump, in a lot of cases, they were like, well, I agree with Trump and everything else, but this has gone too far. They're not capable of understanding the, like, broader implications because they're dumb animals. But they do recognize the shocks when they hit, you know? I hope, at least. I can attest that their minds can be changed. I'm in NorCal, Butte County. Sorry, Butte County. After the water stunt, the Reds are getting mad. Angering the farmers, man. Anyway, now's a good time to bean Max. The Biden did this, stickers were effective, so we should do the same. Then do it. Then do it. You can just do it. You don't have to post about it. You can if you want, but, like, I don't want to hear you say, we should do the Trump did this stickers. I want you to say, I posted Trump did this stickers all over town. Everyone likes to talk about the change they're going to make, you know? Wait, what is this? Newsweek. Fact check. Does Republican budget cut Medicaid by $880 billion? Yeah, in the proposed cuts, yes. The claim, the facts. The budget resolution does not explicitly state there will be an $880 billion cut to Medicaid. The House Republicans are enabling the Energy and Commerce Committee to decide what programs would be cut under the budget. While the Energy and Commerce Committee oversees Medicaid funding, it is also in charge of energy and climate cut. Oh, yeah. Okay. We didn't tell them to cut Medicaid, but we did tell this department to cut a given amount of money, and they primarily oversee Medicaid, and that's where the vast majority of their money goes. Oh, yeah. The budget asks for $2 trillion less on mandatory programs. Sheesh. Just shave off a cool $2 trillion. You hate this country so much. You don't hate it enough.
Not be on the chopping block.
No, look, Medicaid has never been on the chopping block. What we're talking about is finding the it's non-benefit related reforms to the program, right? Medicaid is infamous for fraud, waste, and abuse. I mean, by some estimates, large percentages of the dollars that are allocated there are wasted and stolen. And so we do right to go into those programs and find that and show the people what's happened and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Listen, we don't want to cut Medicaid. However, we have set a $2 trillion expectation in lowered spending, which would require massive cuts to entitlement programs, and we tasked a committee that oversaw Medicaid to do it. And also, by the way, did you know that there's a lot of Medicaid fraud? And, like, really, cutting Medicaid fraud wouldn't really be like cutting Medicaid, right? You know? Just look the other way for a second, huh?
If you do, if you eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicaid, you've got a huge amount of money that you can spend on real priorities for the country.
Oh, yeah.
And if you make sure that
more money
people
to
who
Israel.
are able-bodied workers, men under the age of 40, for example, who have rolled on to Medicaid and gotten on through the expansion and need to be working, if you add work requirements into Medicaid, it makes sense to people. It's common sense. Little things like that can make a big difference, not only in the budgeting process, but in the morale of the people.
There already are, so he's literally talking about cuts here, effectively. There already are work requirements for Medicaid, aren't there? Don't we already have those? Eligibility, 19 to 65, parents, caretakers, aged, blind, disabled, age 65 or older, Medicare eligible, foster care, long-term service, hospice, work requirements. Yeah, there are work requirements. It's by state. Yeah, because Medicaid is managed by state. So they're gonna what? Get rid of the, they're gonna get rid of like the state management element of Medicaid? And they're going to force all states to have work requirements?
Work is good for you. You find dignity in work, and the people that are not doing
it sets you free, one might say.
That, we're going to try to get their attention. So everyone needs to take a deep...
I am preempting the bad faith rebuts here to what I have just implied about Mike Johnson and whether or not he's a, which is that I have indeed said that work can be good for you in the context of like caring for and being a part of your community as a social element, as a productive element. What Mike Johnson is talking about here is working in an Amazon warehouse until your back breaks, okay? Mike Johnson is evil, all right?
Deep sigh of relief and understand that we're not going to harm any Americans with this. What we're doing is the right thing by the people, and we're excited to be a part of that.
I trust him. I believe him.
And on the budget, and then we'll, yes, a markup is going to be scheduled for Thursday. That's the intention. The budget chairman Arrington just spoke to conference and said that we'll be rolling out the details of that probably by tonight. If they notice a markup, they can do it by Thursday, and we are right on the schedule that we need to.
Yeah. What else could the Energy and Commerce Committee possibly cut that would come even close to what they're expected to cut that isn't Medicaid? Work requirements are just a way of getting rid of it entirely, since most jobs would put you over most income limits. You know what? Let me just check that really quick. With, let's say, Tennessee. Tennessee Medicaid requirement. Gonna guess they have a work requirement. To qualify for TennCare, that's what they call their Medicaid, you must meet certain requirements, including your gross monthly income must be at or below 185% of the federal poverty level. What is the federal poverty level for 2024? $15,000 for a single person, and increases by $5,300 for each additional person in the household. So that means that if you are a household of two people, like a couple, the federal poverty level is about $20,000, meaning you would no longer be eligible for Medicaid in Tennessee if you made about $36,000 a year or so. That's not a lot of money. So basically, in order to benefit from Medicaid in Tennessee, you have to be in a sweet spot where you work, but you make such a ridiculously small amount of money that you're eligible for it. It's like that in a lot of red states. Wait, do they have a work requirement in Tennessee? You may be eligible if you have a disability. Eligible in nursing care, must be a U.S. citizen or qualified alien, birth certificate. Oh, no, you don't have a work requirement in Tennessee. Okay, never mind. You can be unemployed and benefit from Medicaid. But God help you if you get a job, because that job must not pay a lot, basically. Lefty misinfo. I mean, think about that, though. Think about how expensive medical care is. Like health insurance. Think about how expensive health insurance is. Like $500, $600, $700 a month, potentially. Like, it's in Tennessee, you could make $40K a year as a household of two, and then you're no longer eligible for Medicaid, so now you have to pay like $9,000 to $10,000 a year in health insurance, like a quarter of your income. Check Idaho. I believe it's bad. Jesus Christ. From KFF.org, the average premium for family coverage is what? Guys, what do you think the average premium is for family coverage per year? $25,500, or in the ballpark of $2,000 a month. So basically, in Tennessee, what I'm saying is, if you want to benefit from healthcare, you should stay unemployed. Because if you get a job and make more than 170 or whatever percent of the federal poverty line, congratulations, you've got to front that yourself. And it doesn't even work 100% of the time. Well, no, we're still talking about American insurance, so it's not like they cover everything. They cover a fraction of what you owe. And then you have the copay, and you have the deductible. But what about the dignity they get from working? That's true. That's a good point. A huge reason why no one views it as a problem is because healthcare costs are hidden behind your employer. Nobody sees how much their company's paying for insurance just in their much lower premiums. Well, that would have been the case, except nobody gets health insurance through their business anymore, you know? Like, sorry, I know some people do, but the majority of workers are not getting those benefits from the company they work at anymore, you know? Really, I actually live under a rock for this. I do get healthcare. A lot of people just bounce around like underemployment, you know? Wasn't there recently an article that came out that was saying that the Biden economy is a lot worse than people thought? And it was like a fell for it again bit, but for liberals rather than conservatives this time. And it was like, oh, actually, if you don't just look at number going up, it turns out the economy was really bad for people. Can somebody find that? It was circulating around. I can't find it in my inbox. I think the overall goal is to tie healthcare to employment again like it was before the ACA. Yeah, but I got news for you, okay? If they get rid of the ACA, which we know they want to, you are not getting healthcare through your job. That is not happening. It is not happening. They are not going back to that. You're just gonna die. You're just gonna die. Percentage of people in the US population from 87 to 23 with employment-based health insurance. Down to 54% now. You know what? I'm not going to lie. That is a lot higher than I expected. Down to 54% as of most recently. 53 maybe, I don't know. That is higher than I expected. What age range? This is just everyone. So presumably, like, for young people, it's like 20%, and for older people, it's a lot higher. Where's the dates? 87 to 23. That's of employed people. Well, yeah, of course. We're talking about employment-based healthcare. Kids with disability are screwed. 17 states sued to end protections for students with special needs. Wow, man, sheesh, grim. The Rehabilitation Act of 73 was signed into law by Nixon. Section 504 of that act codified the civil rights of people with disabilities. No otherwise qualified individual can be, because of their disability, denied the benefits of or subjected to discrimination. The law has been hugely important in education. 16 states have joined Texas in a lawsuit asking the court to declare Section 504 unconstitutional. Dude, we are rolling it back. We are rolling it back. Like, really far. The ADA is going to be overturned next. I mean, the White House literally did put out a memo where they said DEIA. You know, diversity, equity, inclusion, what was it? Assistance, ability, what was the last one? It was for disabled accessibility. Thank you. I always forget. Accessibility. It's right up there with like black pilots getting their job because of guilty white HR managers or something. It's also like people in wheelchairs. You know? Yeah, they tacked that one on with no fanfare. This is another fell for it again thing, because the majority of people on disability are right wing. Like, go out into the poor rural areas of any state, and there are so many people out there with injuries relating to diabetes, who have like trouble walking. The health out there is in general not as good because they're poorer. They don't have access to the same standards of healthcare. Red states tend to have worse healthcare. Just all the stuff you'd expect. You know? Older as well. Yeah, older. Wonder how the moms who voted for Trump are going to feel when the Trump administration lauds Texas and the states that joined it for exempting disabled people from the protections they've enjoyed for 50 years. How does it feel for China to have better disability laws than the US? I don't know why you're saying shit like that to me, as though I'm not Xi Jinping's greatest supporter. As if I'm not a warrior for Maoism here in the United States. You know, I don't know. You think you're getting me or something. Like, I agree. On the surface, the lawsuit appears to be one more battle over the rights of trans citizens. Under the Biden administration, the Section 504 definition of disability was expanded to recognize that gender dysphoria may be considered a mental or physical impairment. Stupid way of supporting trans people. Ken Paxton sued the Biden admin in September 2024, saying the Biden admin was abusing executive action to sidestep the law. The state was suing, he said, because HHS has no authority to unilaterally rewrite statutory definitions and classify gender dysphoria as a disability. Yes, it does. Yeah, it absolutely does. 100%. It absolutely does. It's fully within the purview of that group. But okay. So as is so often the case, this is being fronted as an anti-transgender lawsuit, but it's going to hurt a lot more people than that. That's why you have to stand up for everyone on the domino stack, you know? 504 plans are common in all 50 states. Like an individualized education program, a 504 plan puts in place a specialized program and supports to help students with special needs success and ensures they will not be discriminated against in classes or activities. 504 plans address a wide variety of needs, including visual impairment, diabetes, heart disease, epilepsy, depression, and ADHD. Section 504 is meant to guarantee these students cannot be discriminated against and that they will get the supports they need as they receive a free and appropriate public education.